Welcome back to the Stuff for Whatever podcast. Yo, Speak Quan Chi here. Before we get started, I always like to say the best way to support me in the channel is to like, comment, and subscribe. On YouTube, you can follow on Twitter to catch fun tweets and other updates. I've been also getting a habit of retweeting stuff that I find funny too, so, kind of a mix of different things going through my little Twitter feed. And also, I stream gaming on Twitch, Thursdays and Fridays, and those streams do get uploaded on VODs on YouTube. So be Quanchy all around, and you can find those links in description of YouTube videos, about on the channel, all that. So pretty easy to kind of find and all that. So we got a very special podcast this week. Also wanted to say, I read comments, concerns, and all that, and this podcast will now be gluten-free and no GMOs, so enjoy that. So I did want to follow up about last week when we talked about Pride stuff in companies, since we're still going through June and all that, and yeah, nothing too special. Like, I've been kind of looking at different websites and stuff like that, just kind of out of curiosity. Not that I want to buy more Pride shirts and gear and stuff like that, but I don't know. It just seems, Like, I get the appreciation, I get the awareness and representation, but like I said last week, I don't care too much for the love wins, love is love, equality. Even though those are good messages, I just feel like it's kind of hitting the nail on the head or too blunt. Like, it feels like, oh, I can't really wear this shirt unless it's Pride Month or I'm at a Pride event or a parade or march or protest. It kind of feels weird wearing some of these shirts and stuff like that, even if it's inspirational quotes or slogans and stuff like that. It just feels kind of weird, and sometimes it kind of awkward. Like, I've seen some coffee cups, or I think pillows and t-shirts too, whatever, because I was just kind of browsing through the Target stuff online. But cheers queers and I don't know, a lot of the stuff I don't care for, and some of it's kind of weird because very not obvious, or why is that Pride stuff? I don't know. I did find something that was kind of silly too at Target. They had sets of cups, 6 plastic cups or 6 plates. The rainbow, because each one's a different color, and it's that's not really Pride, because it's those cups and plates you get because you have a bunch of kids or children, so they don't break stuff. It's just kind of feels like, I don't know, they sell it anyways, and since it's Pride Month, it put it in the Pride category. But it's whatever, just cheap plastic, even though reusable, all that cups and plates. Well, that would be kind of neat to have if you did more entertaining outdoor parties and stuff like that, where it's more casual barbecues and stuff like that. So I kind of like having different colored plates of the rainbow, but it's is that really Pride stuff? But I did find something cool on Amazon. It was just a tank top that's rainbow. That's cool. Unfortunately, it seems like we'll get it near the end of the month. I think sometimes I get stuff really fast from Amazon. Sometimes it's maybe through a third party or whatever. But even if it's kind of heavy on the rainbow stuff, I'd rather have that than a blunt I'm queer, we're here, or love wins, or love is love. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm being a little better gay or something like that, but I feel if it's more appealing design, hey, I will wear this every day. I don't feel I have to go to a Pride event to wear this, or whatever. So it feels if it draws too much attention, it just kind of feels off-putting to me. I don't want to feel yo, look at this shirt. It says, I just talked about buying the rainbow tank top. I don't want to say, hey, look at me, I'm gay, kind of stuff. But whatever. But less known on that, I did see in Walmart. I always feel weird because I don't know how many podcasts I had talking about shopping at Walmart. I don't know if this says a lot about me. But they have the Pride ice cream now. And again, I think it was 2 weeks ago, about the Juneteenth one that they tried to sell that they took off the shelves. Well, that's right around the corner too, Juneteenth. But the Pride one is okay, I'll just check it out. It is okay, but the thing is, the Pride flavor is white chocolate ice cream with brownie bits and cherry. And why is that Pride? I don't know. It's again, I said last week too, it's just a bunch of companies slapping rainbows on stuff and including the logos and branding and all that. And I don't know, it just feels very half-assed. And I would, if it had rainbow swirls in it, if they have rainbow sprinkles or rainbow candies and stuff like that. I think they still sell it. They had like a unicorn flavor too. And like, I'd rather have that than this. Like, why is this Pride? Like, why is this celebrating Pride? And like I said, the Juneteenth one, that one was like cheesecake and red velvet cake, and it's like, why is that? I don't know. Kind of stupid, but we said I don't see too much like Pride company stuff diving into or anything like that. But this is my little 2 cents about it. So another shopping blurb I wanted to talk about too. I mentioned, was it last week or the week before? Like Oyo came out with this. I don't know maybe just Nabisco, but it's like half Oreo, half a Ritz peanut butter sandwich cookie thingy. Like, I might try that, but I don't see them anywhere. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, you see these limited products or whatever, and it's like, I can't find them. Like, they're getting promoted in social media and stuff like that, but I would try them and buy a bag, but I just can't find it. That sounds interesting too. I'm sure you can also like make it yourself, like get peanut butter, Ritz crackers, and Oreos. But if it's already like pre-packaged and made, I think it would just eat that for convenience and all that. But yeah, it's just so weird. I felt like there's other products too. Like I would actually try that, but it's not on the shelves. Like, and I don't just grocery shop at one place. Like some other supermarkets too, and chains and all that. But it's like promoting this, then like have it on a shelf. Like I saw the Pride Oreo ones. This is stupid because it's just like an out of packaging with like quotes and stuff like that. Like if it was rainbow cream Oreos, that would have been the shit. I would have been loving that. But it's like I don't want to fucking buy more Oreos just because the packaging is different. Like again, I appreciate the awareness and the thought behind it, I guess. Or the thought could be like, hey, let's get more money, but it just a lot of times it seems pointless with that. And also speaking of things of pointless, they have these Doritos roulettes. I'm not sure if it's like more than one flavor, but at least like the cheese flavor, like it's like the nacho cheese and the spicier nacho. Oh, maybe flaming hot. I'm not sure, but like, what's the point of buying those? Like, it gets to the point like, hey, you might get a regular Dorito. Oh, you might get a hot, spicy one. Oh no! But if you're gonna buy it, then obviously you're gonna like the spicy one. Like, if you really don't like the spicy Doritos or spicy foods, then you just get regular nacho cheese and whatever. So it's like okay for a mix, but I rather just like if I'm in the mood for spicy, just buy a bag of the spicy nachos. I that's like one of my favorite flavors too. Cool Ranch and spicier nacho, best Doritos. But like I don't, it just seems like a stupid gimmick to have like a roulette one of them all together in the same bag. I don't know. Maybe that's just a stupid idea. And speaking of stupid ideas, I'm going to do this little segment on the podcast because I have some ideas for movies, and this is just me being stupid, and it's some stupid guy with a microphone and a computer and internet access. And sometimes get it in my head, like think, oh, that will make a funny movie or plot and stuff like that. And these are like very incomplete. But hey, I can just dump them here, and if anyone wants to take them for anything, be my guest, because I definitely need work. I will have to say a lot of these are like kind of like gun violence ones, and I know that's kind of a touchy subject, but I'm just going to come up with these silly ideas. So let me get to the first movie I thought of. So this first movie, my premise, my plot point would be is that it stars a guy and he gets himself in these situations, not being mean, but kind of like declining people or pointing stuff out. Like maybe he has a coworker ask him out on a date, and then he rejects him, saying, "No, I'm not really that interested." But what the reaction is that they pull out a gun and shoot themselves. And it's like, oh my god, it's the absurdity of that. Like someone who's taking rejection or criticism and stuff like that. I think even like bits like he finds himself like like at a fast food place, they get this order wrong. Is that, oh, this isn't what I ordered, and like the worker will be like, oh, I'm sorry, and pulls out a gun and shoots himself, or he gets a haircut, and then when it's done, he's like, how do you like a haircut? And he's like, it's actually a little shorter than I would like, but it's okay. And the barber would be like, oh, I'm really sorry, and pull out a gun and shoots himself. It's like this absurd, like you have to feel like you're walking on ice or something like that. Or just like the absurd reaction, like being upset and going through that extreme. And I thought like the idea of the movie, like maybe make these dreams versus real life, because if it like happened in real life in the movie, it would just be too absurd, too crazy. Like, why are these people always having handguns and going to this extreme reaction? So it'd be kind of like a recurring dream that this guy suffers, and he gets really paranoid and panic, like what if it happens, and maybe to the point near the end of the movie he actually does, and he's like doesn't know what to deal with and stuff like that. Maybe the message behind the movie too would be like, hey, if people have their own issues, you can't really blame yourself for them. Also, be more thoughtful too, even though like it's not that unreasonable to like tell someone you're not interested in dating or pointing out like, hey, something was messed up in the order. But I thought that is a funny idea, just to have that shock reaction of someone just like shooting themselves just because of one little bit of criticism or whatever. I want to call that movie Trigger Sad, or maybe this triggered. I don't know, but I thought that'd be just because I want to see that extreme idea of a movie. All that, I know that can be again a touchy subject when it comes to like guns and self harm or whatever, but that's my first idea for a movie. Okay, and for the next movie, this it starts off with like a guy like doing errands and stuff like that, and he's like in the parking lot, and all of a sudden this hot girl starts going up to him and gets his attention and all that. But like when she speaks to him, she like just keeps on pleading with him, please don't kill me, please don't kill me, please don't kill me. And then he'd be like really shocked and like, what the fuck's going on? Before he can react, he's like, I can't move, I can't speak. So he's like paralyzed and stuff like that. Then as she keeps on begging him not to kill her, she pulls out a gun, holds it up to him, like handle to him, and then without him controlling himself, he grabs the gun, aims at her head, and then shoots her. And then has this like shock of what happened, like he had no control of the situation. And it's revealed that they were possessed by demons, like murder demons, like haha, we fucking up your life, like made you murder this innocent woman, and now you have to deal with the consequences. So that would be like the premise of people getting possessed by demons just to like fuck with them and cause murder and stuff like that. So he's like panicking and all that. Again, like I don't have like complete thought ideas or anything like that, but it'd be kind of like as the movie goes on, he finds other group of people who've been victims of this, like being possessed and put in these situations, and they like start an organization, a group to help like cover up, because like, hey, you're technically innocent, but no one's going to believe you were possessed by a demon and all that. So they have to like go into hiding and stuff like that, to the point that like maybe they get like exorcists and all that to be trained, or even go through that training so they can battle these demons and stuff like that. Because like these demons were working with like one would possess a victim and one possess the murderer and stuff like that, cause these crazy situations. So again, very loose, stupid idea, but I saw the idea of like what would the crazy idea of like being forced to murder somebody because you're possessed by a demon and have to deal with the aftermath of it. So murder demons, that's another stupid movie idea I have. Okay, this last movie idea I have, again, these are like touchy subjects too, so I'm not sure if they're going to age well, even if they're not even made, whatever, just getting these stupid ideas out of my head. But like the plot of the movie would start off with like, increased mass shootings in the country and stuff like that. And then I know that's like very topical right now. Although the sad thing, that always feels topical, from years to who knows, like past, present, future. But anyways, like that'll be like the plot of the movie, like there'd be increased shootings and stuff like that. And like people like wondering what's happening. And then people would start reporting like, hey, there's just random guns like planted around cities and neighborhoods and stuff like that. So people finding like guns and ammo and stuff like that. And then people become paranoid. People like rushing to grab these guns and ammo, kind of like protect themselves, and then like shooting whoever, shooting the neighbor, like being paranoid, like, hey, everyone's out to get me or everyone's out to get each other. So it's like becomes this crazy dog eat dog kind of world where people like protecting themselves and shooting and feel like, hey, I'm not safe unless the bad guys are gone, but then everyone's the bad guy. So it comes like almost like a battle royale game, but with like real people dealing with it. And like keeps on progressing and progressing, like hell breaks loose. It's like almost apocalyptic in the sense that society's breaking down. And then like maybe the main character, like they start to like at the beginning of the movie, like get a group of friends who kind of have each other's back, but then as things go on, they get more paranoid. Are they going to shoot me? Like, what's going on? And maybe they basically stuff like loot, like all of a sudden they get money for kills, and that like moves the story along, like moves motivation and stuff like that. And maybe in the end, like the main character and like his best friend or like at arms with each other, like having a shootout, and then the main character dies, and then wakes up and realizes that wasn't real. Like he's in a simulation, and then like maybe like a godlike figure, lack of a better word, like a godlike figure is like, okay, we've been testing this out. We are actually developing a video game, and it's revealed that all the characters in the movie are all AI, like all computer characters and stuff like that. So, like, maybe this doesn't work out. Maybe it's too realistic and stuff like that. So, it's pretty much like a battle royale game, but it feels like real life. And they break it down to the AI, and then like the movie would end with the whole like, okay, let's try different themes, and like they reboot the game and have like a battle royale shoot up, and like, okay, let's do it with like a paintball static, or let's do like really high sci-fi one, or let's do like a really cartoony one and stuff like that. So pretty much someone's like trying to develop the perfect battle royale game, and they're using like a really advanced AI system to kind of see how it would play out, like simulation after simulation. And I just think that'd be kind of silly, like to get a really serious like start of the movie, just to get really chaotic at the end, or just I don't know, like that crazy, like I can't believe like that twist. Like it's like one of the things, like if it's gonna be bad, like lean hard into it. So pretty much like goes from mass shootings to like battle royale to like, oh, this is just a video game and it's not real. I don't know what to call that movie, because I know battle royale is an actual movie. So we kind of like have a movie that kind of like goes like feeling like a real life battle royale survival, and then Hunger Games maybe, and then turned out, oh, it's just a game, and we're just like playing around with simulations with AI characters and stuff like that. But I thought that was a stupid idea. So this next part of the podcast, I wanted to talk about cringe. It's funny because even sometimes I think maybe my channel can be a little cringy. I definitely made some videos that are intentionally cringe, and I don't know if that's like even more cringe, like if you like have an attention or what. But I was going to do some research too. Like, I know they had a Reddit called Cringetopia, but I realized they made it private like a month ago. Like, I was going to look up stuff, like get some ideas to talk about. I think it's because they're like making their own website, because I think sometimes there's some issues with like a code of conduct or something on Reddit. So I'm like, oh, the Cringetopia one is it's private, and I don't want to like bother like trying to become a member of it. So I don't do too much on Reddit. I just hop on a little here and there. So when it comes to cringe, I'm not sure what's really classified as what is the ultimate cringe, like what makes something like really, really cringy. I feel like it's kind of like, I even looked up a definition. I think it like the dictionary term talks about like horror and stuff like that. Maybe even like gore and stuff. But I feel like nowadays, like maybe the Urban Dictionary term is more like being embarrassed, or like, I think the worst kind of cringe is like the person's doing something embarrassing, but they're not self-aware, and you feel like even more embarrassed for them. I think like embarrassing like cringe is like they're not self-aware, or they think it's cool, but it's like really lame, and they lean hard into it, or like they role play into like stupid characters, or oh, that. And again, I did kind of like stupid videos like that as well. So I don't know what constitutes. I know like Chris Chan. Even though I don't know too much about Chris Chan, just besides what I hear from like Oni Plays and other creators, but that just people like, oh my, it's like, because I have nephews and stuff like that, little kids, and they have the imagination to talk about this and that, but it's like having that childlike imagination, but you're like an adult and stuff like that. And I don't know, like I think stuff like that with like furries, or not to say, I think some people, you know, in the furry community are really cool and creative and all that, but I feel like it's like leaning hard into like thinking like make-believe stuff is real. Maybe that's what some of the cringy stuff is, but some stuff that I feel is really cringy. To me, what feels like ultimate cringe is like safe for work memes. Like, I worked at a call center before, and you get a lot of like, staring at a screen all day, you get like team like chat rooms and emails and stuff like that. So I feel like, to me, one of the worst cringe is safe for work memes. Like, especially if they try hard and even use like real life memes that are even outdated. Like if someone like did a my face when, but if they keep it work related, like my face when I forget to submit my timesheet for the week. Or maybe they have like that bad like Brian meme, and it says, got an extra day off of work, but didn't have my shift covered. It's my dad saying, oh, you might get attendance issues and they have like a meme to kind of like put on an email. Or if they stuff like pizza party and stuff like that, they have like the Ermengarde Goosebumps girl, like Ermengarde pizza party. So I don't know. I just find it really lame to use memes like that. Or like to have the success kid as a sign up for overtime was bumped up to double overtime pay. But honestly, I don't think my work was too bad with like using real memes and kind of like bending them for stuff like that. I just remember like when it came to like overtime, like maybe there'll be emails sent out and like make a reference to Star Wars or Harry Potter or Marvel, like Avengers and stuff like that. So very like topical, like with the movie coming out show. I just feel like it's very like forced and not that funny, but it's like work. You're not gonna like cuss or stuff like that. Even like sometimes like it being like our team meetings and stuff like that, like bitch about this and that. Like some people, I don't know. It's kind of weird talking about the call center job because I don't know if I ever talk into it in more detail unless I get more bigger and more motivated or get more feedback too. But for the big company and stuff like that, so it wasn't like too crazy. But sometimes it almost feels like a cult, like we're not just a company, we're a family, and that's even cringy too. So I feel like if people are like too bubbly, here's a word: culture. If people call your workplace a culture, that almost feels like a red flag. Not narking it too badly, but I always feel like when they're like, oh, the culture and this and that, and family. I don't know, like. I know, like, you want to love the job you work, especially if it's going to be for the long term, but sometimes it's like, this is a little too much. Like, that's cringing and lose subscribers kind of thing. Also, one thing I kind of been finding cringy, too, is game show humor. Because I've been using a lot as, like, background noise or to kill time between, like, maybe, like, going to bed or if I don't know, I still got to catch up with a lot of stuff like streaming, but I have like one, I think it's a Pluto TV, or I use Roku to get like a bunch of those free streaming channels, but it's just like a bunch of reruns and stuff. But there's like the game show one. I found like game show humor is very like cringy. I kind of like the back and forth play. I think a really good example is Rob Belushi in that game show Get a Clue. I don't know, because it feels like, okay, we have to be safe for work. It's like a family show, so they don't get like, and sometimes they get a little like adult humor slightly, but they're like avoided but kind of hinting at it. But I find it even cringy, like, oh, what you gonna do when you win? And go and do a trip to Hawaii. Oh, why don't you bring me along? And stuff like that. Like they need that, like that, very like phony, cringy, back and forth humor and stuff like that. So I don't know, like, especially like the more like family friendly like game shows. I think maybe the older. I haven't watched too much of the newer stuff. Like, let me catch up. Like, some of my more modern favorite game shows is The Chase. I really like that one. I watched a little bit of Weakest Link, the one that they brought back with Jane Lynch. So I kind of like those, kind of like where, hey, we don't have to friendly banter back and forth and stuff like that, because I find that a little bit of cringe too. But let me know in the comments like what is really cringy besides I mentioned. I'd be like barely hit the tip of the iceberg. And since Cringetopia is kind of crashing and burning because of Reddit, it's like blah, because it's like private now. And I even went to like, I guess they have a website now. It looks really ugly too. Like the website looks cringe, for lack of a better word. But that's a little blurb about cringe. And for the last part of the podcast, I'm bringing back the Whatever Report. It's talking about more weird news. So let's get down to it. I don't really post links to this because I feel like I don't have the demand if people like really want me to. I would make the effort, but I mostly get these from Reddit. I follow the Offbeat and News of the Weird. Those are the two main Reddits I kind of look at for weird news. And for this first one, it's two people rescued after falling into chocolate tank at Pennsylvania M&M Mars facility. So I was looking, I think this is one of the times I actually find a news article like from today as of recording the podcast. So, yeah, so it looked like they were both rescued and taken to the local hospital, but this being trapped in a chocolate tank. But it's not really much news beyond that because the story's like developing. This doesn't include how many people ended up in the tank, but the story seems to say two people. I'm not sure if it's more than that. Like, imagine dying in chocolate. I just got to curious, like, how crazy would that be, like, to be in, it sounds like it would be a life and death situation since it sounds like being rescued and stuff like that. Like, it kind of reminds me of Charlie and Chocolate Factory or Willy Wonka. I think both stories, Augustus Gloop fell. Well, it's based on the book, so imagine like almost drowning in chocolate and being rescued. Like, would you still look at chocolate the same way? I have a big sweet tooth, so I think like even if I'm like on the brink of death of almost drowning in chocolate and survived, like, you know what? I'm still gonna eat chocolate. I'm still gonna dump a bunch of chocolate syrup on my ice cream, eat candy bars and stuff like that. I'm not sure, like, if you in that situation, how much I would mess with you in terms of like, why do you even want to eat chocolate anymore? Yeah. So it sounds like a story straight from Willy Wonka, but it happened in Pennsylvania. So for this next story, I'm going to talk about the headline, and you can guess what state in the U.S. this happened. So a man was bitten by a gator because he mistook it for a dog. So make your guesses now. If you guess this happened in Florida, then you are right. This happened in Northport, Florida. It seems like it happened really late at night, or technically in the morning, because it was like 12:30, so half an hour after midnight. The man at a hotel like was walking outside, and he thought he saw like a dark figure, that a dog with a long leash, and it was an alligator. He was attacked. Yeah, it sounds like there was like too bad. It just said like ripping a chunk of muscle from his right leg. So I'm not sure if like how bad his leg is, but it was taken to a hospital. But this was just a few days ago, June 7th. Not to take the podcast, not that there's anyone really listening, but it survived, and they removed the reptile from the area. So they said they actually captured him. I'm not sure what happened beyond that, but it sounds like the guy survived. I'm not sure what the condition of his leg was, but a chunk of muscle, oh, that is... Especially when they talk about gators, that sounds like it would be a big chunk. Just imagine like living your life with a chunk of you just missing. Because you can only heal so much. You can only recover so much when it comes to your physical body. But that happened in Florida. So this story sounds a little crazy, and you had to read through the article. But a woman says she caught an STD in a car, and auto insurance paid her $5.2 million. It's happened in Kansas City, Missouri. I was looking through the article. This was her romantic partner, and it was against Geico. Like, Geico was the insurance company. Not to say like, hey, like, do this or all that. So it happened last year in February 2021, and she contracted HPV from her male partner. And I was kind of weird because it's like, what does this have to do with car insurance? And it's like one of those things like she consented to having unprotected sex, knowing the risk, or I don't know if that's like it becomes a big thing. Like if you have unprotected sex, like if you consent that you do aware of the risk and stuff like that. But it also says in an article like the insurance company declined the settlement, sending the case to arbitration. So maybe she didn't get awarded. Maybe that's it. So I think it's still a developing case. But I guess like the man might be liable because he didn't disclose his infection status. I'm not sure if that's the thing. Like, could you sue people for getting like HPV, for getting... I don't know if it's like other diseases like chlamydia, syphilis, crabs, even like AIDS and if. I don't think AIDS can be passed on. It always like HIV. So, like, I wonder if you can actually sue people for that, for infecting somebody. Let me see the article. Okay, the article says the appeal request was denied. I don't get it. Like, why is that part of like car insurance? Like, why does Geico have to pay for it? I don't know. Maybe someone can explain more why that's a thing. But yeah, pretty much. For getting $5.2 million, and I don't know too much about HPV or living with it or all that, but wow, $5.2 million does sound like a lot, but crazy story. Okay, and for this next story, this is like more of a what the fuck. Like, I had to do a little research. I didn't dive too deep, but it almost feels like it's a article that might be on the Onion or a satirical site. But in the state of Texas, is more harder to own dildos than it is to own guns. and all that. Like, I had to check more than one article, but I guess there's like obscenity laws or something like that, whatever they call it in Texas. But uh, apparently, people can't own more than 6 sex toys. And I don't know. Again, I didn't dive too deep into it, but you can like have as many guns as you want. But when it comes to dildos, like, hey, hold on, we have to get the laws and it's involved. We gotta control it. Dildo control. I don't know. Dildo controls might sound a little different depending on the context, but yeah, it's just like crazy. Like people get more upset about dildos than guns in Texas, especially again current events, recent events can be really touchy subject to talk about. But just found this article really crazy, like talking about like how Texas has laws regarding sex toys versus guns, and look into that. Comment below if you have any like more insight than that. But yeah, crazy little article I kind of stumbled upon. I'm gonna end it on a good note. So this is kind of a funny like, why does this exist? But I love that it exists. But there was a world record set for most slam dunks in 30 seconds, and the record holder is a guinea pig. But specifically, the record is like how many slam dunks by a guinea pig, and I'm not sure like. Because here's some things like with Guinness Book of World Records, like sometimes like, no, won't call that a record. Like you can do whatever stupid, but we're not gonna publish that as a record. But this one did, and there's like a little picture of the guinea pig with a certificate from Guinness World Records. Assuming this is all true, but you had like a little like hamster toy and a little hoop and stuff like that. But it's Molly the guinea pig, and this is in Hungary too. This is kind of like a funny story, like. Again, it's like, why does this exist? But I'm glad it exists. But there's a guinea pig that holds a world record for most slam dunks in 30 seconds. Let me see if the article has a 4 times. So that's not even much, but for 30 seconds in a guinea pig. Okay, but it said, I guess like document, because with some of these world records, you have to like prove that you're setting a record. But it said like she can do up to 8, but when they like I guess document it was 4, so the record's 4. But yeah, that's kind of a funny little story to end the podcast on. Yep, so that will do it for this week. So again, the best way to support me and the channel is to like, comment, and subscribe. You can do that here on YouTube, follow on Twitter, and check out fun tweets. Again, I feel like Twitter is like my little like bubble where I can like follow some things I find interesting, like entertainment wise. A lot of like indie games too, but I'm gonna have like retweeting stuff too. So again, it's not like my personal social media, but Twitter is kind of like, hey, it's a little fun space. And whether some people feel it's toxic or not, I'm just having fun with it. And who knows, if I have more engagement, more connections, more contacts, I don't know. And also Twitch to have fun with the chat. Game Thursday and Friday, about to gear up for a stream right now. And that will do it. So thanks for tuning in. And wherever you are, whenever. I hope you have a great day, night, whatever. Bye.